So you're the moderator.
Yeah.
I send you the order.
Hello.
Hello.
Guys, give me a second. I'm just setting up a couple of things in the background. Okay, I'll just put myself on a mute.
Okay.
Sure.
Do we need to have the same background, all of us?
I was
No, just
wondering.
you choose whatever.
Okay.
Okay. Because I was gonna say I already have a nice background. I'll just keep that.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
perfect. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Thank you for joining. Yeah, all right, perfect. And I think we're expecting one more person. Michael is not here yet. Demian is here. Hi, Demian. Nice to meet you. Elizabeth, nice to meet you. Ruben, nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Okay, so we have one more guest. We're waiting, but I'll just give you a very brief background. So I'll be hosting the webinar, and then I'm going to go first, then Michael, then Damian, then Elizabeth, and then Ruben. We will have 10, 12, 15 minutes each. And then once we are done, we have some Q&A, and then if we have some questions from the attendees, we'll also answer to them. So people actually start joining in. All right, hello everyone. I see Alex is here, Ellen, Ayush, Majid, Olha. All right, good. We have participants coming in. So I'll just wait a couple of minutes. So where everyone is joining from? Elizabeth, where are you based out of?
I'm in Central Florida.
Oh, cool. I'm in Florida too, Miami.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Well, we have
Yes.
three Florida because I'm in Palm Beach in South Florida.
Oh, okay,
Nice.
good.
And I'm the only here from Europe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful place to visit in summertime, but winter is like it's a bit harsh for me. You know, the winter time. Can't really say that I'm a big fan, but you know. All right, I think guys, we can get started. Uh, um, I know that Michael will be probably attending soon. I'll send him a quick reminder. But Elizabeth, let's start with you. If you'd like to introduce yourself, your company, and we continue with the next guest.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, my name is Elizabeth Greene. I'm the co-founder of an Amazon advertising agency, Junglr. So we manage more incremental ad strategy for larger complex brands, which is what I'll be sharing with today. Like, how the heck do you build strategy on brands that are, say, 20, 50,000 SKUs or more? And how do you do that incrementally in a way that actually drives growth? Those are sort of the questions and things that we solve.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Elizabeth. Ruben?
Yeah, my name is Ruben Alikhanyan. I'm a founder of the PAS. We are a remote e-commerce department. We're providing full service e-commerce management. That includes primarily Amazon, Walmart, and right now TikTok. What I'll be talking today is kind of a good pivot from Elizabeth. What they say, once you earn those, I will talk about how to keep them the most, as we'll discuss the two profit levers that most sellers use to improve their bottom line.
All right, amazing. Damien?
Hi everyone, I'm Demian. I'm co-founder of My Real Profit. It's an analytics software for brands operating at scale. So once you need a lot of data to be analyzed in a very detailed way, this is where we will help.
All right, perfect. Hey, Michael, we have you on live. Welcome. If you can make a brief intro, and then we continue with the first presentation.
Of course. Well, I'm Mike. I'm the CEO of AMZ Advisors. I also am a founder of the company Reach Social. We essentially help e-commerce brands sell more on both TikTok and Amazon. Been doing it for almost 10 years at this point, which is pretty impressive. And yeah, today I'm going to be talking about how to optimize your forecasting to essentially reduce wasted ad spend, reduce wasted fees, everything that can kind of kill your Amazon account. So,
Okay, perfect. Thank you, everyone. Let me actually start with my 10 minutes presentation. If all of you can see the screens, see my screen. So, Forceget is a supply chain company. What it means is we have four core services. We do Amazon 3P and 1P reimbursements. We have fulfillment centers. Ruben, I think you mentioned about the TikTok. TikTok came up with this crazy idea that they like to uh, push their own logistics service fulfillment, and then yesterday they obviously canceled that announcement. I think it was a shit show, which I announced that like on my LinkedIn 3 weeks ago that they cannot really do that. They don't have any centralized fulfillment centers. They don't have logistics experience. They're outsourcing everything. So I feel like TikTok is losing its credibility, although a lot of sellers they want to sell on TikTok, but I think you guys are going to cover that a little bit. So we have fulfillment centers for omni-channel sales. We do reimbursements and 1P recovery. And we are Amazon global selling partner. We work with Amazon Canada, Mexico, India, US, Europe and UK teams, as well as Australia. So I think two top topics this year that brands want to sell more than one marketplaces so that they don't put all of their eggs in the same basket, as well as they want to sell in different marketplaces. They want to test with the AI, especially agents or AI tools that they can build all of content. I don't know how quality will be, but I'm sure you guys are going to cover that. So, what is the new changes with Amazon's reimbursement is actually one of the things that I really don't like is the manufacturing cost. So whether you run your Amazon FBA reimbursement in-house or you are hiring a 3P company that helps you with the Amazon's reimbursement, you have to enter your manufacturing cost. Amazon changed this rule maybe 6 months ago where you don't get back from Amazon anymore your selling price, but manufacturing cost. The problem in here is Amazon can kind of decide whatever the cost they want to add there, they do. And then if you don't go and fix it, then you will have a problem that you are getting probably less and less money from Amazon. The second thing Amazon did was they start opening most of the cases by themselves automatically. However, what we see is 55% of the time they fail to auto reimburse those money. So technically, you still need to go and manually open those cases and talk to Amazon Seller Center support. We all know that it's not really fun to do it. So some of the reasons why your money stays unclaimed, especially wrong evidences, missing documentation. Every day we do a lot of reimbursement audits. And one thing that we see in most of the accounts are rejected cases. So technically, you or your team, your partner open the cases, but those cases are denied or delayed due to incomplete proof. So you don't go back and open those cases and just accept the fact that it's rejected by Amazon. And most of the time, Amazon agents even not considering what you send them. So the second thing is, as I mentioned, manufacturing cost is set too low. This is a serious issue. We can actually get back 15 to 20% more money because since we are a supply chain company, we have other proofs for the landing cost that we can add on top of the product cost. So window of claims, most of the cases now changing between 60 days to 9 months period, especially since we finished the fourth quarter. The best time of the sales is December for most of the people or January. So it's really good time to do a free audit for your accounts to see. And especially a lot of like manual tracking errors. Amazon report system is very complicated. I hope that all of you kind of looking at your, your PPC reports, your listing reports, your reimbursement reports, because there is actually a lot of money that you may not be able to get back from Amazon. So, average case, what we do is the recovery per seller is like $9,500 after we do an audit. And audit results are like kind of shocking for me, especially many cases are rejected. So we go reopen those cases to win back. And as I mentioned, 57% of the amount auto reimbursed by Amazon successfully versus they claim that it's 85 to 90%. So Couple of other things that I like to touch base is AGL. It's Chinese New Year right now, and then when Chinese New Year is over, a lot of companies they're trying to ship products, and AGL has schedule problems, delay pickup. So you need to be very careful not to run out of inventory. As we know, the inventory management is more critical. If you don't understand your inventory levels, you're probably wasting money on affiliate marketings, outside traffic, Amazon PPC, your coupons. You might be running full blown PPC, but your shipment is delayed 3 weeks due to port congestion or any other reason, but you don't even know about it. So it's very important to track everything. And AWD has lots of delays between the transfer from AWD to FBA and Amazon placement fees. So these are like three main pain points right now within the Amazon space that we see, and more importantly, Amazon checking times. Most of the brands, they don't understand that once the shipment is successfully delivered to Amazon FBA, it takes 4 to 6 weeks to fully check in. Because Amazon receives the product but distributes to over 30 to 35 fulfillment centers. Until the shipment is successfully checked in, the inventory is not sellable. It's going to be in your reserve inventory. So you need to understand the entire supply chain. And if Amazon successfully check in, it's time to sell. If Amazon loses the products, then it's time to open those cases with Forceget. So we are launching a new SaaS tool. It's called StockChamp. We launched a new tool actually. It's called Profit Plus, where you can track your placement fees, your reimbursements, and your checking times. I think it's going to be life-changing because it's very complicated to read all those Amazon reports to understand your checking times, where Amazon keeps most of your inventory. So I highly recommend you guys to go to forceget.com and check out the Forceget's new tool, Profit Plus. So we have $300 reimbursement bonus for this webinar, plus 1 month free storage in our California or New Jersey location, which is a great opportunity to start testing Shopify, TikTok, Walmart. And something very interesting, Amazon Seller Fulfill Prime is back. A lot of brands are asking about it because of very high FBA fees. So there are so many things that you can actually look into your supply chain and other details to save money. So hopefully it will be a good year for everyone to make more profit and reduce their operations costs. So thank you. And we're going to continue with Michael. If you'd like to go, Michael, the stage is yours.
Awesome. Appreciate that, Burak. Let me kind of share my screen, give you a second. Cool. So should all be able to see that now. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Today we're mainly going to be talking about just kind of mismanaging inventory and some of the ways that you can do a better job optimizing your inventory. It's actually interesting now with the advent of AI, vibe coding, all this stuff. There's a lot of tools you can build on your own that really are allowing you to deal with a lot of the challenges that used to require a software, used to require some third-party tool to be able to handle it. Specifically, when it comes to inventory mismanagement, there's a few different things that happen. Obviously, stockouts is one area where inventory mismanagement can come around. Two is overstock fees. We know long-term storage fees are crazy. We know the storage fees in Q4 go out of control. All this stuff is just killing your profit. And finally, there's also ad waste. You're pushing ad spend on products that don't have enough inventory, or where you're going to burn through the inventory quicker than you're able to restock, and it comes back that stock out problem. Another way is if you're overstocked, you need to spend more advertising dollars on products that might not be as profitable or may not convert as well. All of that's going to lead to additional ad space. It's estimated about $1 trillion annually is wasted on inventory mismanagement. When we go down to the next page. So the way that we're handling this is essentially using a third-party data provider and also using Keepa's API, and we're piping all this data into a BigQuery warehouse. From there, we're able to get all of our sales and retail inventory data, so units sold, inventory data, sessions, buy box percentages, traffic conversion. We're getting page views, we're getting campaigns, At the ASIN level, we're seeing what CTRs are, we're seeing what conversion rates are, we're seeing what ACoS, all of these different factors are. And then we're using Keepa data for essentially things like BSR ranking, competitor benchmarking, other things that are going to help us make determinations on how a strategy we're proposing is going to actually help a client. We load all that data into BigQuery. From there, we transform it into something that's going to be usable for the next step, which is essentially implementing machine learning with Facebook's profit model. With Facebook, profit's actually pretty cost effective for most people to be able to use. And honestly, like I said, with vibe coding, it's pretty easy to implement this on your own now. You can take all of your sales data, all your traffic data, all the historical data you have in your account, feed it into profit, and it's going to help you make better forecasts on how things are going to work going forward. One of the ways that we handle this is by accounting for seasonality and holidays. Another way is for checking where inventory levels or checking for reorder dates on when we need to reorder and get more inventory back into Amazon based on what the projected sales are in the future. And we're also using it for when we're launching new campaigns or when we're launching new marketing campaigns. So we do, like I said, Amazon and TikTok. A lot of times we're launching creator campaigns on TikTok to help us get sales lift on Amazon. And when we're doing that, we need to be able to look back at where we've done this in the past and see how creator campaigns have actually impacted what our sales are and what our inventory levels are. Profit comes up with a few different scenarios, essentially an aggressive, conservative, and you can adjust the variables to get to where you want. And then from there, we can kind of make assessments on where we believe things are going to go. What we're able to see when we do this for our clients is that typically the clients will see between 40 to 60% reduction in stockouts. The amount of ad waste that they're seeing is less than, or they're reducing wasted ad spend by about 15 to 20%. And then storage fees, long-term storage fees are literally a killer. We've seen multiple brands that did not have a system for managing it that ended up losing hundreds of thousands of dollars from inventory over Q4. And that's one of the problems is like, if you're not optimizing this correctly, you're not leveraging Amazon warehousing and distribution, you're not using all these other tools that Amazon has to minimize your long-term storage fees or your overstock storage fees or whatever other new fee that Amazon's going to come up with next year that's going to charge you more money. All of these things are just going to hit your bottom line. It's going to affect your profitability. It's going to give you less money to reinvest into the growth of your brand. And honestly, it's something you can do on your own. This is something that we help brands with all the time. We have this as a solution for all the brands that we work with. So if you're interested in that, you can reach out to us. Our website is amzadvisors.com, or you can reach out to me directly, mike@amzadvisors.com. But essentially, by creating better sales forecasts using machine learning, you can create better inventory forecasts, which are going to reduce a lot of the waste in your account and improve your profitability overall.
All right. Thank you, Michael. I mean, I couldn't be more agree. The storage fees, a lot of people, they don't understand how much in the fourth quarter versus previous time. And then, one thing Amazon is also sometimes overcharging you is their product size. The best thing is to do is order your competitor's product as well as your product. Just track the tier, which tiers you're actually paying to, because Amazon has like more tiers right now. So many things actually to look at your operation to save money. Thank you, Michael. Demian, you're the next.
Okay, so let me share the screen. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thanks. So today I decided to give a basically step-by-step guide on how to utilize the SQP report for inventory forecasting. Yeah, with basically you can do it in-house. You don't need any tools. The idea of using SQP reporting for the forecasting, it's because most of the forecasts, they rely on your historical data, yeah? And sometimes you can get out of stock, sometimes you test the pricing, you might get the bestseller batch, your competitor got out of stock. There are a lot of different situations that might happen during historical sales that you need to take into account and then adjust for your forecasting. SQP report, which is search query performance, is the report that gives you market level data. Yeah, so you can see performance not just for your own brand, but for your market that you operate in. There is also ability to use category sales data, but with the category, the issue is that you might sell different products that are in the same category, that have different seasonality, that have different keywords, while SQP report gives you data by keyword. That's the whole idea. Yeah, so SQP adds missing contest, which is market level demand. Now, with the SQP, you can see search volume, you can see clicks, and you can see purchases. You can also see data by each keyword, yeah, and you can also see year-over-year growth. You can download SQP for last 18 months, and then you will be able even to compare clicks for top keywords this year, let's say, versus last year. That's the whole idea. So the idea, the calculation is super simple. You need to calculate, you need to pull the data from the search query performance report, and then you need to see what's going on with market, seasonality, and also edit your past sales. And basically the forecast, you just take those calculations, I will show them in the next slides, and you apply it to your past sales. And you will get, let's say you will get a fundamental part of the forecasting that will take into account market size changes and overall market seasonality, not your brand seasonality. Yeah. So step one, you go to brand analytics on Amazon. So if you open right now your Amazon Seller Central account, in the top left corner, you will see burger menu, like 3 lines. You click on it, you scroll down. I believe it's second from the end, called brands. You click on it, then you click brand analytics. And then on the brand analytics, you select search analytics, search query performance. Once you enter the search query performance report, you need to download data for last 18 months, month by month. So you need to do it separately. Once you downloaded it, you need to identify 5 to 10 primary keywords. That's super important. 5 keywords that are stable, that are highly relevant, and they have high search volume. Sometimes Amazon changes keywords in auto results, like in the search bar. So you need to verify that each keyword has a decent amount of search volume and there were no issues with this keyword. Once you collect those 5 to 10 keywords, you will build the entire forecast based off those keywords. Yeah. Obviously, this will be separate per product, or if you sell products within the same, let's say, keyword universe, then you can apply it to multiple products. Then you need to calculate month-over-month percentage change demand. Basically, I will show the Excel file soon, but there are just a couple of calculations, month-over-month and year-over-year. The people who will watch this as a replay, they can utilize those metrics to create it by your own in the Google Sheets. And we will use month-over-month percentage calculation for forecasting and year-over-year to take into account the market size growth. Now, out of that SQP analytics, this is what you will basically get. You will get your past sales, forecasted sales, and let's say forecasted sales, including brand growth. I will also show this in Google Sheets file soon. And let's wait with this one for a second. I will stop sharing the screen and I will reshare. I will reshare something else and I will reshare this Google Sheets file. So, okay, this is the Google Sheets file. So as I said, it's quite simple. I have last 18 months data here. I highlighted them in blue and green. I have top 10 keyword clicks. You can use purchases, you can use search volume. I trust clicks the more. With purchases, if you sell apparel, you will see a problem with the purchase calculation. And then with search volume, sometimes you have high search volume keywords, but they are actually pretty low intent. So I recommend you to utilize those 3 metrics: search volume, clicks, and purchases. Identify top 5, 10 keywords, and then utilize clicks. So you just put your clicks months over months, and then we need to calculate the months over months changes seasonality. So basically January traffic versus December traffic increases by 7%. Then February versus January goes down by 27%. Yeah. Then March goes up by 9%. Now you do it for every month and you basically have your seasonality changes. Yeah. You can use it for multiple years. You will see they are quite similar. And then you just put your past sales. And you can then apply this calculation for, let's say, 2026, as I have it here. So first of all, I need to calculate the market size change. So for 2026, what's the market size change? I need to take 2024 and compare it to 2025. So I have 2024 data and I will compare it to 2025. I will do it by clicks. and I got year-over-year market change 10%. Yep, that's the difference. Here's the calculation. I take 2025 minus 2024 divided by 2024, I get 10%. Then I utilize this 10% to calculate future potential market search volume, and I can do this calculation here till the end of the 2026. And then I put my past units sold, and I will get basically just multiply past units sold by seasonality in market month-over-month changes, and I will get my estimated units. Then I also want to take into account that my brand needs to grow. So this will be my growth of my business if my market share remains the same and just I take into account that market grows 10% year over year. The next step that I want to do, I want to include my personal brand growth rate. And I would say it should be like 20%. I do have my personal goals, there are new products that I want to launch, and this is how I will get the 20%. Then you just apply 20%, which is quite simple formula. Yeah, plus 1 plus those 20%, and you will get your forecasted sales based taking into account market size change and taking into account your future growth. So, and here is the chart. What I wanted to show here is that my past sales, I had, let's say, out of stock in April, and I also short on stock on May and June. Yeah, and then I also had some issues in October. So my past sales, they were not as accurate. Yeah, but if I utilize market data, I can use this forecast to be aligned with the market. And then you just add your brand growth opportunity and you will get basically the final view. And then you have the units. So it's quite simple. You can utilize it for creating a baseline. And then with that, let's say, fundamental part of forecasting, then you can do adjustments, take into account your company roadmap. Now, bonus part is related to creating this forecast for the categories that you even don't make your sales. And that would be using the report category insights. Amazon provides you a report called Category Insights. You need to find it under Growth, Marketplace Product Guidance, and then you will click on Category Insights. And you can select any category in this report. And here you are able to use last 12 months data. So you put last 12 months, and then you also have ability to click on the magic button, says compare year over year, and you're able also to see year over year changes. Then the logic is exactly the same. You export from here, unfortunately manually, but your units sold for the category that you have selected for this year and for last year. You then have the seasonality calculation, and you also have market sales, market size changes calculation. And then if you're launching just a new product, you don't have any historical data, then you can utilize this report because it will give you at least a base understanding of what kind of seasonality you should expect from this business, from this product, as well as what kind of market growth rate you have. And that's it. So, yep. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Demian. Elizabeth, you're next.
Absolutely. All right, let me attempt to share my screen. Give me one. All right, cool. All right, does that work? Hopefully. That's good. Okay.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes, it works.
Perfect. So yeah, I appreciate everyone's about inventory and then going over, kind of how to figure out your place in the market and how you can anticipate sales. Those are amazing. What I'm going to give you today is what we call the 80/20 cheat code for Amazon ads. You guys have all heard of the 80/20 rule. This is a little bit different spin on the 80/20 rule, and this is going to be showcasing with you. Remember I teased in the beginning of my intro that we work with several like larger brands and we have to figure out how to delegate strategy and make sure that you're moving a brand forward across, when they have a wide variety of catalogs or products that are going out of inventory. And of course, you need to shift those budgets to something else so you can still sustain sales. This is exactly how we do it, and I'm calling this powered by AI because there is an AI-enabled report, which makes it very easy for you to quickly get these insights. So this is what I'm going to be sharing with you today. We call this a total ACoS analysis method. So this is going to reveal your true profitability on a product level. We're going to talk about the 80/20 product insights. I'm going to walk through an exact example of a report, show you how you can dissect these reports for yourselves, how you can take action on them. I'll give you that step by step. And then finally, we're going to go over how do you generate your own 80/20 report using AI. Sometimes with templates, I've built a million different spreadsheet templates. They always break. There's an additional column, something happens. So what we did is we have an AI bot you can get access today and start taking actions really quickly on your account. I won't go over this introduction too much other than to say this is the exact methodologies we use to build strategic ad strategy for all of our brands. We manage quite a few 7 to 8 figure brands. Again, large catalogs, large complex catalogs, clothing, all of the fun facts there. So first off, I want to talk about why most sellers are flying blind in their ad strategy and why oftentimes if all you're doing is looking at ad console, you're probably hurting yourself more than you're helping yourself. So this is really the analysis problem that nobody really talks about. I know there's several providers on here that do have ways that, kind of help you get insights into these things. But most sellers are optimizing with an ad console, or maybe there's just like an ad optimization software running. You're only really looking at the ad level performance, which is the problem, because what I've seen time and time again, that ad level performance is not necessarily business level performance. So for true profitability and to really have better dialed in ad strategies that can help you drive profitability, not waste ad dollars, you need to be looking at both ads data and business data together, which are notoriously painful to combine, which is why we have the report. So the real questions you should be asking is like, what is my total ACoS per ASIN? Where am I overspending on products that don't have any sales? Where am I underinvesting in best sellers? And where's my ad strategy disconnected from my conversion rate performance? This report is going to share all of that with you. So let's talk about the report. First, again, I want to give you a real live sort of walkthrough of how I would look at a report, quickly diagnose within a matter of a couple minutes problems that I would focus on, and then I'll give you a step-by-step actions on how you can take that same analysis and bring it into your account to start taking action today. All right, so these are the calculated columns we like to look at. Again, what you're going to be doing, I'll tell you the exact reports that you need to input into this, but you're going to be looking at business reports and your advertising reports. So the things that we look at is we'd like to look at percentage of total spend, percentage of total sales, these two numbers when looking at these calculated columns together, all of a sudden give you a wealth of information. Obviously, you're going to look at ACoS, total ACoS, your ads, again, spend, your ad conversion rate versus your unit session percentage. You can also look at other things here, like you can have flags for buy box percentage, or if you have, say, low organic ranking on a specific product. All of this you can find out through this report. So this is what the report looks like. All right, and here's what it's going to tell you. So the first thing that we always do when looking at this report, I want to know where my sales are coming from, and I want to know where I'm investing my ad dollars. And does my investment in ad dollars make sense given how much revenue that this is driving for the brand? That's what these two columns will tell you. So this is percentage of total sales and percentage of total ad spend. Just by looking at this, I can see things very clearly. And oftentimes what I'll do is I'll start to highlight inefficiencies, so places where I need to dig in and probably do some adjustments to the ads, or opportunities that I'm not taking advantage of that I probably need to say, maybe let me take some more of these ad dollars from these underperforming ones, and then I want to go invest in the other products so I can grow those products in my catalog. So why I'm highlighting this here is you can see very quickly we have about 6% of our total sales being driven from this product. We have 11% of our budget that is being adjusted. That's almost double investment from budget, depending on, like, again, what this item is driving for us. There's already some inefficiencies we're finding. Again, another product only driving about 2% of my total sales, and yet we're investing 10% of the total ad budget. No sense here, right? These are places where we can. Now, I do want to say, obviously, if you have a product launch, you're probably going to be investing more than that product is driving it. There are extenuating circumstances, but just, assuming that this is just a general catalog, I can't tell you how many times I've plugged in an account to this report and immediately been like, this makes no sense, this makes no sense, this makes no sense. And so you want to work through it that way. The other thing that, again, just analyzing these reports a ton of times, now that I know where my ad budget's going, I want to know what I need to fix, right? So I'm going to be looking at these three columns here, which is, of course, ACoS, total ACoS, and what we call ad sale percentage. So that is the ad sales divided by the total sales. So what percentage of my total sales is driven from advertising? If this ad sale percentage number is roughly above 45 to 50%, that's probably getting into territory where you're becoming over-reliant on ads to drive sales for that product. You have a organic ranking problem. Again, dig into search query performance, dig into ranking strategies, because this gives you a zoomed out view of where you need to dig in further. Other things that you want to look at, what we've seen is that if your ad conversion rate is 1 to 2 points, probably about 2 points is where you're getting pretty bad. Well below that, it's not great at all. If your ad conversion rate is lower than your unit session percentage, I pretty much every single time I've seen that and then gone on to audit where we're spending most of our ad dollars and what the targeting is on this product. I think every single time I've found that we're heavily spending on targets that are not converting well for us. Most times it's like, hey, this is the top selling keyword. And so we're just like throwing dollars at it, hoping it works. And then when you actually go back and you analyze the conversion rates, you're like, this makes no sense. We're not even converting at all. We're not even going to be able to rank. And so, again, you can quickly use this report to find those areas on specific products in your account. And then you can take action on them. And I'm going to just give you a brief overview of kind of what these columns tell you. And then I'll go through a step-by-step system of how I would make my hit list and then the actions I would take based off of what I find in this report. So the first one, of course, is, total sales. Where am I underinvesting on bestsellers? Or where am I overspending where there's really no sales coming from it? Of course, where is my ad strategy disconnected from my overall conversion rate for the product, right? Am I targeting things just don't have high conversions on them? Or what is my total ACoS per account, or what is my ACoS? Or is there inefficiencies in the advertising? That's what these main columns are going to tell me. So here's where I like to think like a strategist, right? Let me break this down. So where I'm looking for is mismatches. So where do I have high ACoS but low total ACoS? I can push spend. A lot of times, again, if I'm only an ad console, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is really high ACoS. But if I look at, because it's driving organic ranking for the product, I'm actually really efficient and profitable. So I can lean in there, something I wouldn't find out from ad console. Where do I have high spend but low sales? Again, I need to stop the bleeding. Oftentimes these have really good ACoS. So we're just like throwing more money at the product, thinking that ads are efficient, where from a profitability perspective, they're just not. Or where do I have no ad spend but high sales? Again, I can push with ads here to drive better sales for this product. Again, high unit session percentage or low ad conversion rate, you can check targeting, or high ad sales percentage. I know I need to push for ranking on this. So I can get all of this insights from this report. So here's how you turn these insights into actions. So first, of course, we've already gone through this. You want to filter the report by highest spend or highest total sales because you want to surface the high impact products. There might be a product that's way down on the list where you're like, oh, this is great. But if it's only driving 1% of your total sales, unless you're spending, the majority of your budget on it, it's not really going to do anything for you. So you want to work your way down top to bottom. And you want to flag, I would say your top 3 to 5 strategic movers. If it's the first time you've gone through this report, you're probably going to see a whole lot of stuff you're going to want to dig into. If this is your first time getting used to a workflow, I would pick 3. If you're comfortable in ad console and you're comfortable with diving into reports a little bit more, maybe you pick the top 5. But trust me, this is going to send you down a rabbit hole, so you need to stay focused on the specific products. So again, you want to flag those. Where do I have inefficiencies that I need to look at cutting ad spend? Or where do I have high efficiency? Again, great total ACoS, really great sales on the product, under investing in spend, that I need to say push more. Okay, what else, do I need to increase bids on things? Is there budgets that are running out? Where can I, again, drive more sales for the product? So I like to color code like red for, oh my gosh, this is a problem, yellow for, yeah, I need to look into this, and green, use whatever is going to make most sense for you. But I like to get my heavy hitters and know which one I need to focus on first. Then all you have to do, there's the child ASINs there. So you're just going to pull out the child ASIN that you flagged. You're going to go into the products tab inside of your ad console. Love this tab. It is fantastic. All you have to do is enter in that child ASIN. It's immediately going to filter to find it, and you'll see a drop down. There's a little arrow. Click a drop down. You're going to see every single campaign that product is being advertised in. Immediately, if you're getting inefficiencies. Okay, where do I have high A costs? Where do I have spend with no sales? How can I clean this up, right? But you immediately have all the campaigns that you need to focus on. So again, we're looking at focus because that's what drives the needle forward. So from here, again, you can take action. So did you notice that A cost is high? Okay, let's look at the campaigns. Where is A cost high? If you notice that we really have opportunity on this product, where do I have really great A costs or really good ranking campaigns? Are they running out of budget? Again, you want to work your way, typically speaking, down the list from highest spend to lowest spend is where I find the best impact here. All right, so that's how you take the action on it. How do you get the report? Super easy, literally going to take you a couple of minutes. So all you have to do is download 3 reports. You're going to download a sponsored products advertised product report, a sponsored display advertised product report, and a business report, specifically the detailed page sales and traffic by child item. Pro tip here, do make sure that your date ranges match. This is going to combine the data sets. If you have different date ranges across all these reports, you're going to think you have good data and you won't. So just make sure that you are getting good data here. And from here, all you have to do is go to the TacoSpot GPT that we built and just upload these, and it will immediately pop out this report, and it should take you a couple seconds. So if you would like to get access to this today to run your first report, you can either scan the QR code, or you can go to junglr.com, junglr.com/TacoSpot to get access to it.
Thank you, Elizabeth. It was great. Ruben?
Yes. Hello, everyone, and thank you for the panelists sharing their knowledge. It's really great to hear you. And one thing I want to say, thank you for the AI helping with this decks, right? I mean, it's it's been incredible change since I've been building with myself. Now it's a tremendous one. All right, so let me share the my screen real quick. I don't want to share this. Oh, here you go. All right, can you please confirm you see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Is it sharing the entire screen or is it sharing just the presentation?
Yeah, we can see your browser, we can see your
Okay. All right, let
Yeah.
me fix this. For some reason, it's not allowing me to separate the. Okay. Is this doing the same thing? It shows the entire thing or just the presentation?
We see the presentation right now.
All right, perfect. Okay, let me just put it there. All right, to get it going, we've heard some of these subjects here already covered, and what I want to discuss today is the 2 profit levers that the most sellers either use or misuse or never get the chance to use properly. And what I would try to address with this, it's in very practical actions that the sellers can leave this call and start implementing them. And since especially Amazon's March 2025 announcement on the reimbursements, a lot of sellers are, as truly noted, some of the panelists here are leaving money on the table. And before you get into the heavier levers to pull when it comes to finding those money, there are certain, very basic steps that the sellers need to do, and I'm surprisingly some of them, haven't completed yet. So, with that said, what are the, double profit opportunity? And we have two levers here. One is the inventory forecasting, and second is reimbursement recovery. Both of those things we have discussed today, but in a kind of different formats. And in this post, what I want to talk is how we can use them to get to the get to the results that sellers are looking for. So, think of it this way: the lever one is a patching a hole in your pocket kind of a situation, and lever two is a finding a cash that have been already dropped out of your pocket. For a seller that does, let's say, $360,000 in yearly revenue, that dollar amount can be between 3,600 to almost $10,000 that it's been lost. So, why forecasting is important is a lever one for the profitability. Stockouts are silent killers, as we know. They kill the rank, and then surcharges can cost between 50 to $6 cubic feet. And I just got an audited an account in a similar situation. And then reimbursement recovery, sellers on average, you guys can verify this, recover only between 1 and 3 of the percentage of the revenue. Another one is what we're going to do, how we master the inventory forecast. So your API score is the Amazon's weekly report card for how you're doing well. And, the numbers are very basic. And I don't know what kind of a crowd we have here in terms of the knowledge, but below 450 is a storage limit and higher fees. And above 500, you get in flexibility and better rate. This fix is can fix your forecast. And the way to do it, the way I like to approach it, is do not focus on the entirety of your catalog. That way it will get, distracted. Use the same 20 and 80% rule. Focus fixing that first 20%, then you can expand to the others when you already have systems in place. So what is the API score? Combined of it's the excess inventory percentage, the sell-through rate, standard inventory percentage, and in-stock rate. These are all factoring your API score. So if you're looking how to improve it, these are the areas that you need to get into and fix them. And as the forecasting process, pull the 12 months, as we have Demian broke out in very detailed. That's a kind of a more complex way to quote it, but just pulling out the 12 months inventory, seasonality, promos. We very much suggest using also the Amazon internal marketing calendar to identify the pockets of potential growth that you did not know, because most of the sellers are focusing on this big day events, which is the Prime Day and the full Prime Day or Black Friday. But events like the Father's Day or even Valentine's Day, Cinco de Mayo for certain brands, all are pockets that you need to consider when it comes to the forecasting. It's a time that Amazon knows the traffic increase. So understanding that, having that information will help you to forecast better. So again, as a pro tip, do not focus on the entire catalog. Start with that 80-20 tool to improve your forecasting. Maximizing reimbursement and recovery. Of course, Burak here and the organization, I'm sure will help them to get the most out of it. But some of the basic things that needs to be covered is the upload your actual sourcing the prices. It's something that, to my surprise, a lot of sellers are not doing it properly. Now, the new policy, Amazon only reimburses the price. So it's important to make sure to have the right one, and it's inaccurate. There's no additional charges. It does not include your tariff. It does not include your shipping costs. So make sure that it's uploaded. It's the first thing that you want to do. And what counts as a manufacturing cost, it's the only price that paid with your supplier. Again, no duties, no customs are included. So as a recovery playbook, to start, again, we're talking about very, simple things, as because some of them are being misread. Audit your IDR portal is exactly the place where you can see the potential losses as a first option. Cross-reference your shipments records and Amazon received quantities. File accurate, well-documented claims, never speculative ones. And we've seen that in the conversations a lot. Speculative numbers. I'm not someone who will also suggest anything like that, but just have it correct, and that should help you with what counts as in reimbursement. We have a warehouse lost item, warehouse damage, inbound discrepancies, customer returns error, and so on and so forth. So, these are important areas for you to know where you can get the reimbursement. So why these two levers multiply with each other and help together, right? So connection between most of these that people are losing, and it's a very important one. When you have a more excess inventory, what does it do? It forces Amazon to move your product left and right into the new warehouses, and that causes the friction, and that causes the loss, that causes the damage. So forecasting accurately will allow to have a less damage, less movement, which will lose your products in the meantime. So if I'm taking a biggest lesson from this tech, I think this is the connection we have to make. The forecasting accurately will help you to lose less. In that case, go for it, and not to go for it and not to chase the reimbursement, but stay accurately. So we have to keep that in mind, and forecasting accurately, audit regularly, and log in on the P&L correctly will give you that sense of understanding where your profit sits if you have lost anything, or if you need to be even more accurate with your forecast. So as of action items for anyone to kind of get into, what would you need to do to take these considerations into action for this week? The first thing you need to do, check into your IPI score to make sure that you're above that 500 threshold. And second, you go and upload your sourcing costs with the supplier, and make sure that you run your ADR report as stated to see if there's any quick reimbursements you can work on before you go for an experts and or use other tools. For the month, you need to build the systems. Again, implement that 20% forecasting cadence for your the top sellers, and now the last 90 days to FBA transactions for the FBA claims, and use case pack shipments to reduce inbound discrepancies. Another good point out here: keep one SKU per box. Do not try to have multiple SKUs in one single box. That will reduce the loss significantly. We've seen that many times. Try to create your boxes with your 3PL or where you do it yourself the way that will keep a one SKU per box. That will make your palletizing easy. That will make your receiving faster and losses less available. And for the quarter, once you set these things, you need to evaluate your forecasting, some softwares that will help you if you're getting that big. But and again, considering reimbursement services as mentioned, but also create systems to automate it. Now, once you have that 20% already set, it will help you to expand that to the rest of the catalog to get even better. So for the overall quarter, that will be my suggestion. If you're feeling better, if your efforts have already worked into that to support it, then using the tools, some of them for the inventory forecast or for reimbursements, I think will be great kind of a pivot from that stage. And that's it from me. Thank you very much. If there's any question, please.
Thank you, Ruben. We appreciate it. All right, guys. Yeah, so a lot of things are changing in the Amazon space and e-commerce space. And we have some questions. I'll just go over them. First question is actually Elizabeth. What's your experience that cost per click is keep going up? Is there any way to reduce the cost per click? Is it really because of the competition, or is it because of the Amazon is trying to make things more expensive? What do you feel why CPC is going really higher and higher every year?
Not to bite the hand that literally feeds me, Amazon is not mad at CPCs going up. Now, they're not, it is a second price auction. So there's not like some person behind behind the scenes, like turning up a dial, making it more competitive. One of the reasons why we've seen such high CPCs in this space is that the market is maturing. If you look at any ads platform, the one constant of ads platforms is that costs go up. If you have done meta ads since the beginning, people were talking about Facebook ads in the beginning when it was like pennies on the dollar, and now it's more competitive on Google ads, right? Everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, CPCs are really low. Like how cheap I can buy top of page placements for pennies." And it's crazy now, right? And I mean, there's $50 a click on Google ads, probably even more, hundreds of dollars on some really competitive terms. Like it's crazy when it used to be 10 cents. So that's just unfortunately the nature of most pay-per-click or any advertising platform, to be honest. as it more matures, is there something you could do about it? I have noticed there is an element to Amazon ad search that does factor in relevancy to keywords. So the more relevant that the algorithm deems your product, you will get some favor. That's why, despite as high as you could possibly try and put your bids on, say you're selling running shoes and you're trying to sell up on running shocks because you're like, oh, maybe somebody will buy my shoes or vice versa. Like you can't get any ad placement even if you put like $100 bids. Amazon just won't give it to you. So there is that element, and that is Amazon, not necessarily Amazon trying to favor people. It's more Amazon trying to protect the consumer experience. So if you can harness that, if you can demonstrate that you serve a specific avatar and the algorithm will notice that, that is a way in which you can get, favored in a way. It's simply like, again, working within the rules that Amazon has given. The biggest thing that I see as a lever for sellers to pull, and this is completely outside advertising, is going to be to do conversion rate optimization. If you think about it, if you're paying a higher CPCs, if it takes you less clicks to convert, that's less cost for you to make that sale, which means all of your numbers get better. Your sales get better, your rankings get better, your ad costs get better. So I would say if there's two things, there's 27 different things to worry about when it comes to selling on Amazon. If you can get good at ad strategy, if you can get really freaking good at inventory management and double triple down on conversion rate optimization. Not, oh yeah, we optimized the listings last year and
Yeah.
everything's great. What I've
It's
seen
all
time and time
connected.
again is that it's not necessarily that anything has changed with you or the consumer, it's that your market has gotten more competitive and your competitors have gotten better than you. It's a hard pill to
Uh-huh.
swallow, but a lot of times that's what it is.
Sure. Damian, thank you, Elizabeth. Yeah, I agree. I mean, everything's pretty much going up the cost wise, and people are. I think we can all be agree on that. It's harder and harder to become profitable. And the other day, I read an article that almost 400,000 seller disappeared from the market. Um, the bigger brands and staying stronger, they control, understand their profit, they control and manage their inventory better. So, Damian, what do you recommend? Like one thing this year, people should stay profitable. What is it? Of course, there are multiple things that they should be focused. But what do you feel about where they lose most of the profits?
Oh, it depends on the category, yeah. So like if you're selling apparel, then you better to focus on your refund rate. If you're selling supplements, then you better to focus on your subscription count, on your new to brand revenue acquisition, yeah, and overall outside traffic. So I believe we are getting more to Amazon used to be a marketplace and very technical, and then more and more Amazon becomes more similar to D2C business model than marketplace. It helps you with operations, but the way you acquire a customer, you need to do much more work than you used to do. So I would say take a look at your category, and based of the category, you most likely have your top cost, number one cost, that this is where you should focus. For supplements, for CPG, it will be marketing and how to acquire a customer at a cheaper cost, as well as retention. For apparel, it will be refund rate and also working on branded traffic. So yeah.
And also doing, I think the shoppers, like consumers, their behaviors are changing. They discover products on TikTok, then they go to Amazon, and they're more price sensitive because of the inflation, I feel like, and then there are trends. Like Michael, what do you feel? You mentioned that you've been running the agency like 10 years, your company. What do you feel the trend is going? Now everybody's talking about Rufus, how to rank your product in AI with ChatGPT. I think mentioned that they're going to charge 4%. When you talk to the sellers, what do you feel like? What is their concern or what they're trying to accomplish? What is the trend right now in the e-commerce space?
I mean, the main thing that we hear across most of the brands that we talk to is concerns around profit and how much money they're making, particularly with Amazon. But I mean, all platforms are getting more and more expensive, as Elizabeth
Yeah.
kind of commented on before. Um, it's a matter of being more and more efficient. A lot of smaller brands we have said in the past 3, 4 months have literally said, "Yeah, I'm done with Amazon. I'm not going to sell on there
Yeah.
anymore," and they're walking away. So it's going to continue to be more and more competitive, you're going to need to find new advantages or new tactics to try to get ahead that are lower cost. One of the things that we've focused on a lot for our brands is like, how do we drive additional traffic? We find that when we drive traffic at a cheaper cost or at a lower cost, we're able to improve our marketing through retargeting or through other marketing efforts that actually lead to higher conversion rates, lower cost per acquisition. So that's the challenge is, how as a small brand do you become nimble enough to find more ways to drive traffic to your listings so that you can deal with the fees on Amazon, so that you can deal with the competition, so you can deal with massive CPCs against, the largest competitors in the market.
Sure.
But that's what we hear like very frequently now from most sellers.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think we all agree that only running Amazon ads is not probably enough unless you're doing it really perfectly, but there's so many other ways to drive more traffic. I think last year in Amazon Accelerate, I met a seller. They're selling air fryer. I'm like, isn't it like really competitive uh, space? They're like really big brands. And the guy said, no, my wife has a YouTube channel and we have almost 300,000 subscribers. And then each video, she has like a 1 million, 1.5 million reviews. And then we don't run Amazon ads. I'm like, how's your sales going? He's like, it's going good. Like, we're doing, let's say 400 units in a month, but it's an expensive product, close to $300. I was like, wow, that sounds like profitable actually. And how organic content is actually important. Ruben, I want to finish with you, finish off. When it comes to logistics, the cost saving, what do you recommend this year people should be paying attention to?
As strange as it may sound, I'm a big believer and will bet on Amazon on this one by trying to utilize as much of the Amazon supply chains as possible to be able to reduce and save. And I understand the challenges, and I'm going to, drop a couple of names that may, raise some eyebrows and, not to like, but I was a big believer on the AWD, and still am with even with all the challenges they had. Because if we know the Amazon's history in the past, nothing they made successful was simple or just easy to do. It was difficult. They went through, they fixed it, they made it better, and it moved on. So the AWD, and in some cases, in combination with an AGL, which is an Amazon Global Logistics, has been the most and best way to save money when it comes to the logistics. You say placements, you get from AWD the best allocations to the locations, which gives you faster delivery times based on algorithm, which improves your conversion. So if we're talking about that, it all matters, right? Talking about a conversion, how make it profitable, even your ads. Well, try to offer it in overnight delivery compared to the 2-day delivery or 1-day delivery. You'll see the difference. So in a nutshell, making that efficient within whether you inventory forecasting or using Amazon warehousing global Amazon warehouse and distribution to save more money to keep it, or the AGL to save money to deliver. That's where I see the biggest value for the sellers. And that can be also geared towards not the biggest sellers out there who have large supply chains. I'm talking about sellers that are in the smaller scale side and can very well utilize that to their advantage. So both are interconnected, but that's kind of where I see the most value for that.
E-commerce space is so interesting because one thing that works for one brand, it doesn't work. Because
Absolutely.
I completely disagree with actually Ruben, which is e-commerce space. I think it's free of speech. Like, because, for us, one thing that we see this year is the cash flow, and then, the money is very expensive to borrow. So many aggregators lost three. Like, I don't know who remembers, but 3 years ago in Prosper, aggregators used to give out like free Tesla if you give them a recommendation to purchase a brand. They all bought these brands, and then unfortunately they didn't manage their inventory good, cash flow good, because they were relying on only like one solution. I think it's a really good idea to like test things and then decide what is good. One thing I realize is by the time you place an order from your factory, China, until you sell it, it's actually 180 to 200 days pass. So
Yeah.
that's 6 to 7 months. Especially with AGI and AWD, the timing is even longer. So I think every brand should be doing their test and see what works better for them. and then decides. Like, just not rely on only one solution. I think that's what I would say. But I agree, Ruben. It worked for some brands, like, and some brands don't work. And then Amazon is constantly trying to make things better. We'll see what happens this year, guys. Last year, brands had so many challenges because of the high tax and tariff. This year, things are going a little bit better, in my opinion. But we'll see. But guys, Michael, thank you so much. Ruben, thank you. Damian, Elizabeth, thank you, everyone, for attending the webinar today. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next event that we're organizing or in person sometime.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for
Thank you,
hosting.
guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
man. Thank you.